Yo, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different, not totally different from what I usually do. We're gonna go over a DB match, but this is my personal DB match. So as everybody knows, it's the year of the fire. So I decided, bro, I have to pick up a fire deck myself, because if not, you're just gonna get clapped left, right, and center by these fire decks. So I decided to learn one myself. So the one I chose was Rescue Ace, probably the worst of the bunch. We're talking about pure Snake Eye Fire King, or Snake Eye Rescue Ace. I chose the worst one, but I just personally think that just because, bro, we can never be playing the absolute best deck, you know what I'm saying? But what I wanted to do in this video was kind of just break down this game right here and kind of just go over it with you guys, because this is something that I would do if I was like seriously trying to prepare for an event or just get better in general. The number one way to get better, I think, is by playing. Like, that's the number one thing you can do, is just play. The second best thing I think you could do to get better is watch over your games and like check what you could have done differently. If you misplayed, if the opponent misplayed, you could have sequenced something better. Things like that, I think, is very important if you're trying to get better at Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think that we're all in some type of way trying to get better at Yu-Gi-Oh! You know what I'm saying? So what we're gonna do right here is gonna go over my Rescue Ace mirror match that I had. And I thought it was a pretty good game, so I wanted to just go over it because I know for a fact I misplayed a few times. So my opening hand is Valor, Impulse, Airlifter, Black Witch, and HQ. My opponent's opening hand is Impulse, Wanted, Valor, Rhoda, and Imperm. So he has two hand traps and an Impulse, which is a pseudo hand trap. Not really a hand trap. It's more like a follow-up card, but this card is so crazy in Rescue Ace. I've been playing Rescue Ace on this account up to this point, and Impulse has just been insane. So Impulse and Rescue Ace, I think, now is like really strong. So I'm gonna start off with normal summon Airlifter. So I start off with Airlifter here to try to bait some stuff, because do I really need the add off Airlifter? Not really. If I can get to my Hydrant play, then everything's going to be good. So I start off with Airlifter because it's a fine normal summon and it's going to bait some stuff, if anything. So normal summon Airlifter effect. My opponent chains Impulse to summon, and I say that that's good. And at this point, I'm a little scared. And then he goes chain Imperm, so I'm like, sure, no search. He summons out Fire Engine, and there's no way I can play around this Fire Engine here. I just have to play into it. So I summon Black Witch. I send the HQ from my hand. This is something that, you know, it's like it hurts to discard the HQ because you want this for follow-up. Like, it's really good in the grind game, but if I could set up a board, this card right now is not doing anything in my hand, and it won't be doing anything until turn 3. So I'm pitching it. I have to pitch it because Valor, Impulse, I need those cards. I can Impulse right here on the Fire Engine, which I do end up doing. So I go Black Witch Chainlink 1. He goes Fire Engine Chainlink 2. Doesn't Valor this, by the way. So I chain Impulse here onto his Fire Engine, and I believe he does not Valor my Black Witch. Maybe after he saw the Impulse, he was like, yeah, there's no point because he's going to get to regardless. So I summon out my own Fire Engine. He summons out his Airlifter, new chain. I go Fire Engine 1. He goes Airlifter 2. I'm still resolving Black Witch, though, so he's kind of going a little bit fast, but that's all good. He adds Emergency. And then, like I said, Fire Engine will be Chainlink 1 here, and then Lifter Chainlink 2. And then you see I'm asking him what the ad was and things. So here I summon out Hydrant just in case, another hand trap on the original. At this point, original is just a extender to get Hydrant up on the board. So I go Hydrant effect search. That grabs a Turbulence from deck to hand. And now I have a whole bunch of bodies here on the field, right? He has Impulse in Graveyard for me to steal. I want to out his Airlifter. I want to out his board right here so he doesn't have like immediate Charmer access. Free bodies in this format, they apply a lot of pressure because, Charmers and things like that, like, it can just get out of hand pretty quickly. So I go up into Hita, and then I Hita, take my opponent's Impulse, and from here I'm just going to go up into a 3-material Appaloosa to protect myself from further hand traps, Valor. So I thought this was played fine up until this point. Next up, I go Turbulence, banish 2 to summon, and then I declare Turbulence effect, and that resolves. So there's nothing I fear here, really. Like, the only thing that he can hit me with is Valor, obviously, because Imperm's dead because he has cards on the field. So I go ahead, set 4 from deck, of course. And then I go original, send the Black Witch to summon back out Hydrant so that I can activate one of my set spell or trap cards that was set off of Turbulence. So I use Alert. Alert will search for Preventer. And then from here, I just trying to figure out how to clear his field. And I do make a misplay. So I go Preventer effect, banish Impulse, summon Preventer from hand. And then from here I go Hydrant into Karibo. Okay, that's fine. And then I turn those two into an SP. SP here should have banished Fire Engine, but I end up banishing his Airlifter. The reason that's a mistake is because he can Preventer, summon back Airlifter, get Airlifter effect search. If he goes Preventer, summon back Fire Engine, that's a lot less scary, especially on his turn. I'm not going to be summoning. We go ahead and we just pass here. So we have Hydrant, Appaloosa for 3, SP, Turbulence, set cards, Valor is strong. The opponent opens up Fire Attacker or draws into Fire Attacker. So he goes main phase 1, Rhoda, sure, grabs Impulse. Now my opponent here does have the option to just go straight up, go battle phase, try to beat over my Appaloosa. But that obviously won't work because I have, my trap cards. I can pop it in battle phase. So he decides to stay in main phase here and try to play. He goes normal summon, Impulse, then goes Fire Attacker to summon. Okay, so that's good. From here, he goes Wanted. So he just keeps playing, which I'm like, sure. Nothing here is crazy. And he goes battle phase, and I say, okay, think start of battle. Because I don't want my SP and my Appo to just get beat over. I'm also trying to, be wary of talents. So in battle phase, we can start activating effects here. So I go rescue, targeting my Preventer to bring it back. And here I'm thinking, okay, I can go ahead and book Attacker. I can pop Fire Engine. Now he can't beat over Appaloosa or SP. So that's what I want here. On that summon, he goes Preventer, though, which I negate, and I think that is correct. So I go ahead and negate. He's lagging a little bit, and then he chains Impulse to summon, which is fine. We let that go. And then I go Extinguish to pop, because at this point, if he goes Impulse Summon, he will be able to beat over my Appaloosa or my SP. He says, so Chainlink 4, I go ahead and try to pop the Fire Engine here. In hindsight, I should have went Rescue effect and then Chain onto Rescue, Extinguish to pop. I should have went Chainlink 1 Rescue, any response, no response, Chainlink 2 Extinguish to pop the Fire Engine. Yeah, that was pretty bad. So he goes and summons out his own copy of Preventer, which is fine at this point. On that summon, I go Contain. So I try to go ahead and negate its effects, make it so it can't attack and can't be used for anything. Because if it gets in the graveyard, summon back Airlifter is kind of scary. So I go Contain onto that. And then he chains Preventer, target my Preventer. I chain my Preventer, target his attacker. So now he can't flip back up attacker. And now he can't run over my Appaloosa or my SP. So all in battle phase, playing around talents, SP and Appaloosa safe. So I feel kind of safe. So he goes Emergency up next, Summon Turbulence, Tribute the set card, which is fine. Then he goes main phase 2, which I'm cool with. And then he goes Send Preventer to summon Black Witch. So that's good. Witch 1, Preventer 2 to try to bring back the Airlifter. And then I Appaloosa negate because we are in main phase 2. And I'm going to get full value out of this Appaloosa here. So he sets original, activates it, sends Black Witch from hand. I chain my Little Knight, target Hydrant and his Turbulence. I think that was the correct play. He still has Turbulence summoned from hand. But obviously we still have the Valor, and I'm just going to get rid of my Hydrant here and get rid of his Turbulence so that I have follow-up with my Hydrant. So banish, banish. He summons out his Hydrant, and then I have Appo for this. Okay, he goes Wanted first, put back draw, that's fine. So it draws into another Valor, and then goes Hydrant. I chain Appo. And then he goes Typhon, which is like sure. Bounces back my Little Knight, also sure. End phase, give back Hydrant, give back Turbulence, and then he just passes on that. So from here, we should be able to clean up this game. I draw into talents. I flip Preventer. I use the effect to book the Typhon, and then I go Hydrant effect search. Searches me for another Preventer. And then I go Link Rebo, Tribute, Summon, and then turn those two into Dark Charmer, Steal his Witch, Witch effect to set Wanted. I do have Search for Hydrant if I wanted to, but I don't really need that at the moment. I also could have just searched it to set it, but it's fine how I just did it, I think. And then I make Selene effect, gain, lose, go up into access. I'm just gonna try to win the game here, but on res he goes Valor, so that's fine. I go talents to look at his hand to just, just want to be safe, man. I can deal with what's on board. I just want to check your hand. He Valor's my Turbulence, which is fine. So I turn those two into Little Knight. At this point, I'm like, okay, can't go for game anymore because my access code got stopped. There might have still been a line for game, but it would have been pretty difficult. I went through a lot of my extra decks, so now I'm just trying to set up a board. I go SP1, Preventer 2, bring back the Lifter, banish his Turbulence, Lifter effect, search for emergency tribute, summon out turbulence effect, set emergency, yep, and then switch to attack, just go beat over, and then, reset trap. And at that point, I have, I have too much. I have emergency trap, SP, Valor still in hand. So game 2, I open up Hydrant, Duster, Prosperity, Talents, Preventer. Hand's just broken. Opponent opens up Emergency, Fire Engine, Rhoda, Alert, and Impulse. So my opponent starts with Lifter. Obviously, I have no interaction. He searches Lifter, normal summons it, goes Fire Engine, Chain 1, Lifter, Chain Link 2. Not sure, but okay. Then he goes Emergency, Summon, Tribute Lifter, Hydrant effect, search for Turbulence, then go Alert, search for Preventer. Okay. Then make Karibo, and then declares Preventer effect, banish, summon Preventer, turn those two into Proxy F. So at this point, I thought he was going to go for Mud Dragon, but he's just using this as a generic Cyberse Link 2 to make Heat Soul with. So my opponent here plays really, really hard into Nib. So he plays stupid hard into Nib, goes up into Heat Soul, pay 1,000, draw, and then he draws into Reinforce. He goes Turbulence effect, banish to summon, and then I just put the thinking emoji, I remember, because I was like, bro, you played into Nib so hard. I don't think he had to do that, but it is what it is at this point. He goes Turbulence. Like I said, I have no interaction on my opponent's turn, so he sets 3 on me, and then turns those two in IP, set 2, end phase pass. I draw Valor, of course, and then he pays 1,000, draw into Hydrant. So I go main phase 1. I'm starting with Duster, obviously. That's the move. He chains Emergency, chains Rescue. So Reborn, Fire Engine, Summon Preventer, Tribute Preventer, and then the rest gets wiped. Preventer effect, Reborn. That's going to reborn the Airlifter effect, go search for HQ. So this is fine up until this point. I go Talents to Steal. He says that's good. So I take his IP, which I think was correct. And then normal summon Hydrant, use the effect. Okay. He chains Impulse onto that, which is like, okay. So summons Fire Attacker, and then I search for Turbulence at this point. I couldn't do anything about this, so he goes draw 2, draws into Phantasme Ash, and then discards Hydrant. So now he has Phantasme Ash. I go Hydrant into Anima. Okay. So on that summon, he drops Phantasme. That's good. So Phantasme, draw 3, sure. Draws into Droll. Okay, puts back. Then here I go Anima, try to steal, which might have been a mistake because this, I think I could have, let me see his grave actually. Yeah, see, I could have went up into access code first. If I go Preventer, banish, summon, make Dark Charmer or Hita, I can go Dark Charmer, take his IP, and then go up into access code, pop Phantasme, so that this can go through. But I don't do that, and it gets negated and destroyed. Okay. So from here, I go Preventer, banish Hydrant, summon. Okay. And then on that summon, he goes Fire Engine. So Fire Engine will summon out an Impulse, which is like, okay, he has a lot of bodies. That's a lot of bodies. So I just go Link 2 into Hita, Preventer, summon back Hydrant, and then I go Hita, take his Proxy, and then I make Karibo, and then I make my own Heat Soul. So I do have Prosperity in hand, but I was thinking about maybe I could kill him. But this draw right here that I'm going for, it does conflict with Prosperity. I might have been too greedy. I maybe should have just went Prosp, but he did have Ash Blossom. So that would have definitely got ashed. So I just go for my own Heat Soul, pay 1,000, I draw. See, it's debatable if this was the right play or not. I draw into Emergency, but if I draw into Black Witch, or not Black Witch, but if I draw into Wanted, I get another draw and a lot more pressure. So I don't know. I draw into Emergency, and then I turn those two up into Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker effect, gain and lose, effect banish to pop Heat Soul. I also did this play to get the Fires engraved, so I have 2 pops. But like I said, I should have just did this before. And then I go Turbulence effect, banish 2, summon. And then Turbulence effect, set 4, which does resolve here. Then I have basically just battle phase, beat over attacker, beat over Phantasme, main phase 2, emergency, chain ash blossom, okay. Then I go link 2 into SP effect, banish impulse. I learned from my mistake from last time. Yeah, it's also arguable I could have. No, yeah, if I do the Dark Charmer play, I think yeah, if I do the Dark Charmer play, I can pop this. I could also pop the lifter, and then I can make Hita, and then Hita take his lifter, and then get a search there as well. Um, but yeah, so end phase, he goes reinforce banish, reset rescue, sure. And then pass, he draws Called by the Grave. In draw phase, I go rescue, try to reborn my Turbulence. He chains Called by the Grave on the Turbulence, which is like, sure. Here, I make another misplay, I think, is I banish, I chain SP, target itself plus Lifter, which again, he could just bring back off of Preventer. Not only that, I'm just thinking like he can just go battle phase and just beat over my SP, so might as well get it off field. But at the same time, like that's fine, right? Like if he goes battle phase, beat over my guy, I live a turn and that's fine. But I was also thinking I wanted follow up off of this SP, so that might have been fine. So he has to hit off this draw though, or nah. Did he have to hit? No, because he has rescue, summon back hydrant. He did not have to hit off this draw. He had place regardless, but he draws into wanted. He uses it. That's fine. Search Black Witch. And then summon Black Witch, send HQ, Black Witch effect, set original. That's good. Original, send, summon Hydrant, Hydrant effect, search for Preventer. That's fine. Preventer effect, banish Turbulence, summon, turn those two into Hita, Preventer, summon back. Summons back Turbulence. I was very surprised. Did not summon back Airlifter. Only went through 1 emergency, and he just put back as well. So he could have went search emergency there. Chooses not to. Hita effect. Never mind. He doesn't use Hita effect. He just goes into Celine. Then he goes access code on res. I Veiler. So that's pretty strong. And then he's going to go wanted, banish, put back to draw, draws into Nibiru. And then battle phase, access code attack, and then rescue to reborn. That reborn's preventer. So it's like, sure. That's also why I didn't Veiler Black Witch, is because I knew he had rescue, reborn, hydrant anyway, so it didn't matter. I just save it for the access code and keep my back row, because my back row here is pretty strong. So I take some damage, and then he goes emergency banish to reset, extinguish. Then I get back my SP. He gets back his lifter. I draw an imperm dead card. Main phase 1. Have to go prosperity. So for 3. So at this point, my extra deck is pretty sure it's Dark Charmer, another copy of SP, and I don't exactly remember the last card in my extra. But I go pot for 6 because I want to play the game. And then I'm pretty sure I just take I take Preventer. Okay. So put back. Yeah, put to the bottom. So I have Turbulence, Hydrant. Turbulence is still under called by. So I could just bring back the Hydrant. So I declare Preventer, and then I declare Preventer to book. He chains his Preventer to book. And then I chain my trap card to negate. And then from here, I just go battle phase to, get rid of this contain, or just make this extinguish dead, I mean. So make the extinguish dead. I think we're in a fine spot. We go those 2 into Dark Charmer. Preventer effect reborn. Reborn's Hydrant. And then Dark Charmer effect steal. So that's going to steal my opponent's Phantasme, which probably was a misplay. At this point, I'm in main phase 2, so I was kind of just trying to set up a board. I didn't have much in my extra deck, to play with in terms of building a board, but I take his Phantasme to try to build a board. I have Emergency Banish, Reset, Contain. I still have Extinguish set, so that might have been a misplay. I could have went, uh, you know, take Witch instead and then Witch set original, but I don't do that. And I go Hydrant, search for Lifter, normal summon Lifter, use the effect, search for HQ. Okay, I think that's fine at this point. Actually, yeah, because I already used Preventer, and I have no more Preventers to summon off of Emergency, Summon Preventer, Tribute Preventer. Just get this for follow-up. I think is fine. So on res, I'm pretty sure he nibs here. He does nib. He does declare the nib. He gets to keep his Preventer. I chain Alert to add from deck to hand, and then I just scoop. Yeah, I was thinking about, like, when I was coming to record this game, I forgot that he had that booked Preventer, so I was definitely just cooked there. But yeah, I don't remember how many cards were in this extra deck either. I shouldn't have pressed next play that fast, but anyway, game number 3, I open up Hydrant, Veiler, Alert, Extinguish, and Black Witch. My opponent opens up Reinforce, Veiler, Cosmic, Hydrant, Black Witch. So I go main phase 1, summon Black Witch by sending Extinguish. Extinguish can get reset off of Emergency. He Veilers my Black Witch. This is why you don't start with Hydrant, and even if you have Hydrant, you still go Black Witch, send summon, so that you can search Airlifter and then normal summon the Airlifter. So if you have Hydrant plus wanted stuff, you still just go for the wanted stuff for sure. So I Veiler's Black Witch. I go normal summon Hydrant effect. That's good. Chain Alert. That's good. So search Turbulence and search for Preventer. From here, it's just pretty standard. I go into a Karibo, and then I go black. Oh yeah, that's a misclick. I go up into SP. So that's 4 summons. This will be 5 summons. So Turbulence effect, banish 2, summon. So if he goes nib here. Yeah, so if he has nib here, it's cool. So I'm not going to get Veiler. I'm not going to get Imperm because I have SP. And if he has nib, he has to nib right now. So if he nibs right now, my stuff gets tributed. I get a token. Then I just go Preventer, banish, Turbulence, summon effect, make Hita. And then Preventer effect, summon back. Or, yeah. That's what I would do. Preventer effect, summon back, effect, and then still make another SP because I play 2 SP. So Turbulence here resolves. So set Emergency, Contain, Rescue. So set those. Then I go Preventer, Banish, Extinguish, which was like kind of tough, but there's no way for me to use the Emergency on this turn without getting Preventer in graveyard to get the Hydrant back. So I just had to do that. And then I'm going for Apo here. So 3 material Apo super strong, Preventer, summon back Hydrant. We have Rescue Ace on board, Traps live, A Trap live. So yeah, 3 material Apo plus Veiler, end phase pass. They draw another Hydrant, and their hand's just not strong enough to deal with this. They go summon Black Witch by sending Reinforce, Black Witch effect. I chain Contain onto that. So negate and then can't attack. I thought that was the best play because now not only does it stop Black Witch, it prevents Black Witch from beating over my Apo, which is perfect. And then he goes Blind Cosmic onto the Emergency. And here I think I just say sure because like what? Summon Preventer, Tribute Preventer. But in hindsight, I probably should have chained it because there's no point to leave this Hydrant on board anymore because I have no more traps. So what I should have done is chain Emergency, summon Airlifter, Tribute Hydrant, Lifter effect. And then this one doesn't really matter if I have Hydrant on board or not because what I'm trying to do obviously with it is just prevent or summon back and get a book. So I think that probably was a misplay as well. Probably should have chained Emergency to get myself more follow-up. He normal summons Hydrant, use the effect. I Apo negate. I have 2 left. Then he goes Typhon, which is like, sure. And then battle phase. In battle phase, rescue, reborn preventer, preventer effect, book the Sky Crisis. And then that's just game. That was just a game there. So Definitely some misplays. Nope, nope. Remind me tomorrow. So definitely some misplays. Definitely some good plays. But you guys definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you guys see anything, better lines, better sequencing, whatever it is, comment below. I greatly appreciate it. Greatly helps out the channel. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this type of video because I could do more of these, just reviewing games and kind of going over them, spotting the misplays, talking about my thought process during the game and things like that. But yeah, bro, playing Rescue Ace, it's been kind of crazy. I've been taking dubs. This deck is really, really strong. I like ending on Apo. Impulse is crazy. Yeah, I like ending on Apo Hydrant or Apo like Preventer or something, or Turbulence, I mean. Just because like you can't get Super Poly. A lot of people are playing Super Poly right now. It's gonna be very popular next format. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.